Yep, I'm Ben, and this is my awesome team over here, Jennifer, Chris, and Tim. And it was interesting to hear the Addition Office guys saying how much they use models, because we unfortunately don't use them anywhere near as much as I'd like and don't get the chance to. So when the opportunity came here, I really jumped at the chance to get in there and spend a lot of time making a model myself and get these guys to do all the billable work for a couple of weeks, which was very handy. First, I thought I'd start by talking about our clients in this brief, the family of four. Most of us here are somehow related to a family of four. Whether we're from a family of four or in a family of four, or maybe one day we'll have a family of four. Me, myself, I'm currently in a family of four. I've got two little girls, aged 4 and 7, Evie and Ruby. And so all of the issues that are in this sort of brief resonate with me. And even just looking at our current crop of clients, we've actually got 17 families of four that we've dealt with over the last 3 years. So this is a really prominent clientele for us, and the issues that they're dealing with is what we're engaging with all the time. And I think what's been really encouraging is the brief for the family of four has actually really developed heaps in the last 10 years, and we're finding they're much more interested in sustainability. They want to have a compact house. They don't want to have the obese 240 square metre house that we're seeing in much of Australia at the moment. That's the average Australian house size. We are finding people who want to have more compact, clever, adaptable flexibility in a house between 160, 180, maybe 200 square metres. That's really encouraging for us. They're wanting to engage with the environment. They're wanting to have sun, breezes, views to treetops and sky, wanting to have a naturally comfortable home. Most importantly, what we are finding is that they're all yearning for more connectedness with each other, and that's a really huge part of sustainability from our point of view, is the social sustainability and having houses that bring people together, not just about the physical. It's actually about creating relationships. And so that's the key thing for us in this project, is the connectedness. So here we are on the site. Obviously, it's a tiny footprint surrounded by tall buildings on 3 sides, but blessed with a sunny northerly orientation on one side. The main constraint, obviously, is the size, 80 odd square metres, which requires people to be stacked vertically. And the biggest problem that I find with a vertical building is it separates people and distances them from each other. And so in light of the fact that our clients are telling us they want to be connected, that for us becomes the biggest challenge for us to address in this particular brief, is how to have people vertical but still together. So we propose the Helix house, where rather than having levels that are purely stacked upon each other in a tower format, we've actually got multiple split levels that are arranged in a spiral shape, where people can be in different spaces but still have a relationship with each other. And meanwhile, bringing the environment in amongst these people, so the sun, the breezes, the sky, the landscape, so they're all immersed within their natural environment and living, hopefully, more in contact with nature way of life. So here we see the helical arrangement of spaces. We've actually pushed, rather than bringing things in off the boundary and having a tall tower, we've pushed the walls to all the boundaries and kept it quite a squat shape. It's basically a cube. It's only about 7 or 8 metres high, pretty similar to what the width is. So one big volume and then separate levels helically arranged within that, with borrowing from the round plan concepts of flexible open spaces that all can flow into each other. And here we see it's all about bringing the light in from the north, having cascading terraces of garden over 4 levels on the north side, and then bringing that into the house and taking people out to the light. This is the north facade, as you see, with the 4 levels that are all pushed in and out to share light from up high down into the lower levels and have greenery growing up from below and flowing down from above. We'll pause on this for a sec. I think it's obviously important to have some sort of degree of privacy, and bedrooms, kids' bedrooms down the bottom, parents' bedrooms up the top, and then clearly the public spaces in the middle. But it's the ones in between, the other rooms, they're the ones that we're really interested in this particular concept, is how do we deal with those, how do we arrange those, how do we detail those, so they not necessarily have to be public or private. With the kids' bedrooms at the front down here, we've got them very open and flexible and with operable walls that allow them to, when kids are little, like my kids currently are, they've got 2 bedrooms, but they actually sleep in one and use the other one as a playroom. And then as they get older, they can clearly close them off and have privacy in 2 separate bedrooms as they need that privacy when they become teenagers. Here we see the flexible room at the back, the one that can be multi-purpose. It's the TV room where kids can go and make noise. It's the music room where adults can go and make noise. It's the guest bedroom when people come from out of town and stay for a bit. It's open 99% of the time and has a visual connection with the rest of the house up through the central stair void, but can be closed off when you need it every now and then. And then up above is that all-important study. We're finding the brief for the study is really evolving over the last 5 years, and it's a really interesting space at the moment because people's work habits and the working culture is shifting a lot. People are working from home a lot. They're also having to work late hours. A lot of people are actually working internationally and having to do things late at night purely, not because they're catching up on work, but because they're dealing with other people overseas. Then in the meantime, kids doing their homework, teenage kids in particular, they're what we're finding is our clients telling us that their schools are discouraging them from doing their homework in the bedroom. They want it to be done, the bedroom to be a place of relaxation and do your homework in an open space, part of the family, and then the on-flow effects of, using the internet and social media, etc. Parents do want to have an eye on their kids all the time. So this study has really evolved from being not a room that's at the front of the house, not a study nook either, because that's not enough to service the 4 members of the family. They all need to be able to use it on occasion and perhaps all at once. So it needs to be part of the house. And this has been a really interesting one for me to deal with this. So it's still connected with everything else, raised above everything else. So you kind of feel like you got a bit of disconnection. We're playing around with ideas of being able to close it with a sort of cone of silence when you do need to make that phone call late at night every now and then. It's a really interesting one for us to explore. And then finally, I'll touch on the sunken meals area, which is a couple of steps down from the kitchen, which I think gives a really nice, playful sense of intimacy and sort of a little bit of grandeur to that family ritual of dining, which is really important with that sort of concept of connectedness. Yeah, these are just the plans. So that's it. Thanks.